Hey, welcome to Keight Krafts. I'm Kate. Today I would like to share with you my make for Let's Get Lizicle's latest release. Let's get started. So to kick things off, we are going to be working with the brand new Creepmas Stamp Set. And I'm going to be working with a bunch of leftovers from previous projects. So this right here was, I can't remember what it was from, but I'd used the Henry's ABCs to cut out Beware. I cannot remember what project that was from, but I liked the cutout of it so much that I ended up throwing it on some black cardstock and some vellum and then never really did anything with it. And then I had this panel of white cardstock with black splatter on it, and I thought that would be a good combination for that with the vellum. So we are just going to go ahead and glue all of these together on a red metallic cardstock. So the metallic cardstock is 4¼ by 5½. I believe this panel is 5¼ by 4, and then I ended up cutting the vellum with the Beware down to 3¼ by 5, I want to say. So you can see here I've got them all kind of lined up neatly. I haven't quite glued down the vellum yet, as I just want to make sure that I position these where they need to be. So we've got this adorable little skull with the Santa hat and the really cute candy canes with the skulls and the ribbons. I gotta say, this is probably my favorite bit of the entire stamp set, just because these are just too cute and I had way too much fun with this stamp. So we're just going to add a little bit of double-sided tape for some double stick with some liquid glue. I'll go ahead and do that to the other side as well, and that way I've got an idea of roughly where they all need to be. So once we've got that mashed down, I'll go ahead and flip that over. We're going to add a little bit of tape runner for some double stick, just to make sure that this sticks down good. Now you could add some little rhinestones or stuff on top of the vellum and add a little bit more glue to hold this down, but this is probably going to be something that just goes in the card box. So because there isn't a sentiment, we're going to go ahead and pull out the Seasons Creepings to add to the inside of the card. Go ahead and mash that down, and we're going to use some Onyx Black ink. This is Versifine. And we'll give that a bit of a mash, and then we have the inside of our card done, and then we can go ahead and glue that onto the front. So again, we're going to add a little bit of tape runner, we're going to add some glue, and I struggled with my glue bottle quite a bit because it's been a hot second since I've sat down and made some cards at the time of this recording. So I had the little pin to keep unclogging it, and yeah, so here's card number 1. We're going to add a little bit of sparkle here to the hat for little skull Santa here, and I'm just going to color it in for shits and giggles now. Chits and giggles is what I said. So I had ended up using a watercolor brush to color these in. I didn't have the correct red in my Copics, and I didn't feel like digging out my Ohuhus and messing around because I had a fever to make the cards and I didn't want to be stopped by minor technicalities. So we're just going to use what we have on my desk, and that's kind of how these cards came about. I was using scraps from a box, half-finished projects from a box, and just stuff that I had on my desk. So here's card number 1. Let's move on to card number 2. Now I'd had this panel done. It's the Lawn Fawn, I can't remember, it's a snowflake hot foil plate, and I'd had a solid hot foil plate that I ended up using to get the negative out of the positive, and it just kind of sat there on a card base, didn't know quite what to do with it, and I thought that this would be the perfect little image to add to this card. It is very simple, honestly. I kind of dig the simple cards now because it's so quick to throw together, and it's not too involved, but you get such a pack, a punch, if you will, with this stamp set, and I think this snowman is quite cute. So again, we're using what I have on my desk here. We're going to add a little bit of Wink Stella, and I used Copic markers to color this guy in. I think I used some C10 and C7 and C5, and then because I didn't like how dark those were, I'm going to go in with some Jelly Roll glaze in black and just kind of darken that up. So that's card number 2, nothing on the inside. Let's move on to card number 3. Now this one was a little bit more involved because I did end up using the cobweb from Lawn Fawn's 2024 Halloween set, and I don't know, I thought it would be great. So I used some of the, I don't know, like a vinyl black cardstock that Inky and Scrappy had sent me. And then I had some velvet sticky back that I stuck onto some 65-pound black cardstock and cut it out with a rectangle frame because I didn't quite cut out the rectangle of the spider web properly, and you can kind of see there on the left how it's a little bit thinner than the right, or the right to the left. So I wanted to cover that up so you didn't see any of the sparkly paper that I used. And I think this is a Lawn Fawn pixie dust paper. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I just kind of grabbed panels that I had already cut, so I wasn't really cutting too much down for this one. I honestly only ran a few things through the die press just to get these out there, and yeah, so we're gonna take that frame and just go around the edge here to cover that up. Now I could have gone ahead and used some more of that vinyl paper, but I really liked the contrast between the velvety black and the other black paper. You know what I mean. So again, we're going to bring out this cute little Santa hat guy, and we're going to put him on some vellum. I'd used a circle stitch. I think it was like an inside out circle stitch, and used that just to give him a little bit of a pop here. And once I'm happy with the mash down, we're going to go ahead and go in with some more Wink of Stella. Now I end up switching this up, and you'll see in a minute. So I'm rubbing my finger along there just to give it a little bit of a smear, and I don't end up quite liking it. So what I end up doing is just leaving it right there, giving it a little bit of a mash to make sure that it got the stickiness to the vellum. I'm going to use the last of this double-sided tape just to give it a little bit of a prop up from the card. So we're just using up the little bits of scrap that I had left on this guy. We're going to cut some of this corner so it fits and you don't see it peeking through the back of the vellum. So you can see here that I've got everybody kind of laid out where I want it, but I think I want to pop up that Merry Creepmas. So what I'm going to do is add some more foam tape, and again, I'm just using up scraps of what I had left. Like, these are the last little bits of these foam tape rolls. Not quite enough to do anything with other than to prop up small objects. And these types of cards are a lot of fun, I find. It's kind of like you go through a box of scraps and see what you can put together, and sometimes you don't necessarily need to do a whole lot, which I really enjoyed with these cards. So we've got that there. We'll add a little bit of double stick because this is glitter and a rough surface that we are going to be sticking the double-sided tape on, or the double-sided foam tape. And I always want to make sure that I've got something secure because it'll either sit in the box for a while, or I end up sending it to somebody else. So here I thought I'd pull out the white gel pen, but it wasn't working. So this is where I kind of mess up. So you can see I've got a bit of that pink. It's from the watercolor brushes that I ended up using. So I'm just kind of going all willy-nilly. Go big or go home. I've already screwed it up, and I thought I'd add a little bit of pink to the measure because that holographic paper, or the sparkle paper I should say, does have a hint of pink to it. So I'm just kind of going over everything and bringing some of that watercolor down into the white, and then adding some of it to the Merry Creepmas just to give it a pop of color. Now, I would have liked to have not have done this, but at the same time, the white cardstock is a little bit of a difference between the glitter white, if you can tell the difference. I don't know. So we're going to grab some of this double-sided tape, add it to the top and the bottom because that stuff that I have on my card base is still a little bit wet, and I want to be careful with that. Like I said, careful with that. So we're going to take off the release tape. We're going to add some glue, I struggled with my glue bottle here. You can see I ended up just adding dabs of glue on it. Make sure that this is right side up, give it a good mash down, and that is my third finished card, as you can see. Nothing on the inside. So here are the 3 finished cards from today's projects. I really enjoyed working with Let's Get Lizicle's Merry Creepmas. Creepmas? Yes, Merry Creepmas, and it was perfect for Christmas in July. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care.